Now then, most of us have spent our entire lives thinking that the Earth looks like this. But you can forget about that because the Earth, in fact, well done, nicely caught, looks like this. This is what it is. It's flat. And it has a, just like Game of Thrones, it has a big ice wall surrounding it.
Mark Sargent is one of the leading voices in the Flat Earth movement, and he believes it's time that we all woke up and realised that we actually are living on a flat disc.
Well, Mark joins us now.
Welcome.
Good morning, Mark.
Welcome.
I mean, obviously, there are thousands of questions,
Yes.
which I'm sure you've been asked 1,000 times.
A few, yes.
Yeah. So, we believed for many years that the Earth was flat, and then science comes along, and discovery comes along, and we think, right, OK, now we can see that it's actually round.
Sure.
We've seen that it's round.
Sure.
So how come it's not?
It's not because we can't prove it's a globe. Everything that we've... In fact, it starts out with everybody that's in the Flat Earth community starts out looking at the globe saying, can you prove it? Can you prove the globe, especially without using NASA? Because it's not that we found out that the world was a globe back in 1972. We knew for 5 centuries. So that's how everyone starts. You try to prove it in a court of law.
I flew in Concorde, and I was lucky enough to fly in Concorde, and you get up to 65,000 feet, and I could see the curvature of the Earth. That was proof to me. How come that wasn't true?
And yet I could show you weather balloon footage from 120,000 feet, and it's absolutely tabletop flat. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, the world's most famous scientist, no offense to Brian Cox, he'll come out and tell you, no civilian will ever be able to see the curvature of the Earth. Because
So is he lying?
No, I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm saying that you wanted to see the curvature. There's a big difference.
But don't you want to believe that it's flat? You have no proof. I have more proof than you do.
I would challenge that.
Well, I've got footage here that's direct from the space station, and that's live pictures from the space station now.
Right.
That's all a lie.
Again, started from the American military. Yes, absolutely. I'm saying it's worse than that.
So what is that then? What am I looking at if I'm not looking at live pictures?
You're looking at CGI, nothing more. Something that started out very simple back in the 1950s and advanced till today.
So I'm a bit of a space nut.
Sure. Sorry.
And so no. I mean, I'm very happy with that.
Right.
And I've got the app on my phone, which has got where the space station is right now. And I have in the past looked at those live pictures.
Yes.
And I have seen where the space station is and thought, right, it's coming over me now. And so I have watch the space station. You can see it as that light. It doesn't blink, doesn't flash, goes over as a solid light. And at the same time, I've looked at my laptop and I've seen where I am.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying there's something up there. No question. Is there a vehicle that could be the ISS up there? Yeah. Are there people inside it? No. Not a chance. And you can look at the interior footage, and the production value is horrible. I challenge anybody. We've got so...
I've interviewed, both of us, we've interviewed Tim Peake from this sofa.
I know. And
so what was I doing? Who was I talking to? Where was he?
You were talking to a military officer, nothing more. I talked to Terry Virts, American astronaut. And look, they're all... You got to remember, everybody that goes up there are high-ranking military. They start out at colonel and go...
Why would he bother?
Why would you bother faking it?
Yeah, why? What's the point in faking it?
Well, that's one of the bigger questions, which is why keep this thing a secret? And we're talking about...
No, but why fake it?
Because if you don't fake it, eventually the private industry is going to get involved, and then they're going to find out on their own. This is
why that would be bad, because...
If you don't keep this thing a secret... Remember, we're talking about something that was discovered back in 1960. The public wasn't ready in 1960. They just weren't. Their potential academically, economically, religiously, chaos, potentially. And so they weren't going to take that chance.
So pilots are involved in this?
No. No, not at all. No. Pilots, scientists, none of those people. I have astrophysicists, Brian Cox. None of them have anything to do with it.
Okay, so all of those people,
right?
Every NASA science, everyone who's scientist, everyone who's ever been involved in at any stage in any space program, whether it's industry that launches satellites, the various people that launch those satellites, everyone that's ever worked on a space shuttle or the Apollo program, they're all.
No, it's just
pointless.
No. I mean, jobs are created, and it's compartmentalization. I mean, it's no different. Look, generals know the battle plans, but most of the officers below them don't.
Were the Apollo, those massive Apollo...
We've been to the moon, right?
Were those Apollo rockets that went up into the air, did they go?
They didn't go anywhere. They just went off into the ocean and ditched. That was... again, I'm an American. Look, we're taught, rah, rah, go team, wave the flag. And so it's tough for me. because I love the American space program.
So you flew in a straight line to get here?
I did fly in a straight line to get here, yes.
And,
over a level playing
you've
field.
got this, so we've got a dome over the top?
Yeah. So let me do this real quick. So the globe that you threw away, what we're talking about is we are all brought up, taught that we live on this tiny little rock that's covered in a little bit of water and smoke. We're flying through this impossible vacuum of space. We're saying that we live on a flat, enclosed world that is basically, you're basically living in a big soundstage with walls and a floor and a ceiling.
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show, yeah, very, very, very similar. That is so big that even our best and brightest didn't figure it out until about 1960. And when they did, decide to keep it a secret. The really, really short version is you don't live on a globe. This is what it looks like on the outside. That's what it looks like on the inside. There you go.
So why don't we just fall off the edge?
For the same reason, the space asteroid question. Yeah. So for the same reason why you don't fall off the edge here. Antarctica is the only continent that doesn't look like anything else. All the other continents in here look perfectly fine. Antarctica, though, and it's not necessarily an ice wall, it's just Antarctica, this really, really, really high continent.
So you're saying Antarctica goes all the way around?
Yep.
So where's the North Pole?
North Pole's in the center. North Pole's in the center. South Pole doesn't exist. Compasses don't work down in Antarctica. Most people don't talk about that. The Antarctic Treaty says that no corporation in the history of the world can set up shop down there forever.
What's outside?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, because it
you
could
have
be
no clue.
Well, I mean, if you can't get outside, you're not going to know for sure. But I mean, I don't think, my personal opinion is this isn't a one-off. There's not just one of these. There's more.
So we've got a picture of what you think what it's.
Oh yeah. That was made by one of our people, and it's a great option. I love it.
Have they been there? Have they seen that?
No, of course not.
Okay.
So
There's a hole in the wall there. There's a hole.
No.
There's a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So can you go through that and go to the other places?
Again, flat Earth opens the minds of people. Most of the flat earthers will stick with something like this. But, other flat earthers, I'm not going to knock them. It opens minds.
OK, but amongst your people,
Yes.
amongst your flat earthers,
Sure.
You argue amongst yourselves as well.
Like the
And
Scottish
actually,
Highlands, we argue.
You have been accused yourself as being sort of a member, I think, of Warner Brothers or something. You're making this up.
Government agent, yeah.
So, I mean, aren't you just all turning on yourselves? Like,
No,
you can't believe anything.
No.
Ever.
It's
not even your own.
At the end of the day, again, like the Scottish Highlands, no offense, but they can all agree on one thing: they hate the English. That's the same sort of thing here. We disagree on so many of the finer points here, but at the end of the day, we all agree on one thing: that is not a globe. And you can absolutely you can hammer on the globe. Everybody starts out hating flat Earth, and everybody tears down the globe themselves. That's why we have a 99% retention rate.
Do you not believe any proof in anything?
No, I believe in proof in things.
Okay.
But
in which case, I've got to ask you.
Sure.
That we obviously, those of us who believe that the Earth is round,
right.
There are lots and lots of things that would help us to convince ourselves that the Earth is indeed round.
Globe, by the way.
The globe. Yeah.
I mean, technically, this is round.
Okay. Yeah. And flat. And so, what proof do you have?
Got it.
No one has ever been there.
Got it.
No one has ever taken any pictures of the ice wall that surrounds us.
Exactly.
So no one can get anywhere near. Why can't we go there? Why can't I?
Oh, the Antarctic Treaty. And you can go there if you want to spend, I think it's like 12,000 pounds. You can go to the edge, one of the peninsulas, and get your picture taken with penguins.
No, I want to see the wall. Well, no.
Well, I mean, the wall itself
Attenborough's been
just
to
extends for a long. You can get to the Antarctic coastline. That's not a problem.
Yeah. I want to go to the wall.
Boy, you're going to go all the way in here. No, the Antarctic Treaty forbids it. You cannot go there. It's locked down. It's the only unbroken treaty in the history of treaties.
How do you know
every
that?
country in the world.
Oh no, it's not secret information. None of this stuff is secret information.
But where are you getting that information?
What, the Antarctic Treaty? It's public domain. I mean, it's a PDF. In fact, I gave it to your producer.
But the
It's on a
Antarctic
flash drive.
Treaty is about limiting the stripping of resources.
It's all corporations. Every corporation in the world, no one can set up shop there. And it's also the only piece of real estate in the world that's not owned by anybody. A little strange, since we're fighting over real estate all the time. But no, I mean, stripping of resources, in a treaty that was built in 1959, environmentalism wasn't even a word back then.
Do we communicate with anyone out there? Is there any trade between the two places?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you that. To your proof questions, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time left. Sorry, let me give you the 5 bullet points that I gave a Georgetown physicist, and he folded like a card table almost immediately. I put this challenge out to Brian Cox, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku, any of these guys. First one would be long-distance photography. Curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared. We eventually should not be able to see over the hill. We should be a hill. It should be gone. HD technology has changed that. Now we can see things way, way further. There's some wonderful work being done by Nathan Oakley and some UK teams where they're actually seeing a horizon behind oil platforms at 10, 15, 20 miles. Gravity versus the vacuum of space. Gravity's holding things down, right? That's gravity, no problem, right? You make the upper part of this a vacuum chamber, you pull a cork, everything's going to rush upstairs. Well, why, when you go outside, why isn't the air outside rushing into space? You can't. The atmosphere. Why doesn't it go into space? Can't say gravity anymore because gravity didn't hold the air in this room for that little test. Third, the moon eclipse is too small. The moon eclipse is 70 miles wide, and the moon is 2,000 miles wide. We never see that in nature. The moon eclipse we say the moon is about 70 miles wide. Fourth would be the moon temperature. That's a spooky one. I didn't even know that till about two years in, which is the moon generates a cold light, which is warmer in the moon shade than it is in the moonlight. If you magnify moonlight, it gets even colder. It's generating a cold laser light. It doesn't even make sense. And the last question, which is the Van Allen radiation trap question, which is, are the Van Allen radiation belts deadly? Yes or no? If they are deadly, then how'd the Americans get past it with no shielding whatsoever? Remember, the only thing that can stop radiation is gold, lead, and a whole bunch of water. They went with aluminum and plastic. Nobody died. Nobody got radiation poisoning. Nobody even got cancer. There's still 5 of them walking around today. If you say yes, then why does NASA have this wonderful video, Ryan trial by fire, saying, oh, yeah, we can't send any capsules into space because we haven't solved the radiation problem yet?
Well, maybe that's because you've got to go closer when you go to Mars and it takes longer and there's more exposure, perhaps? I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, well. Maybe, he says.
Well, no, I'm not going to shoot it down. It's a better answer than I've gotten from a lot of people. Sorry, go ahead.
NASA say, we've known the Earth is around for more than 2,000 years. The Earth is not a perfect sphere because the force caused by the Earth's rotation, north and south poles are slightly flat. Earth's rotation, wobbly motion, and other forces are making the planet change shape very slowly. But it is still round, and that's saying NASA, but you say that they're in on it.
Yeah.
I say, listen, you know, of all the things that are going on in the world, of everything that's happening, I think we'd all probably cope if someone said, actually, it looks like this.
I think we would too.
OK, all right, fine.
I absolutely agree with you, which is why I think it's being let out. I'm not doing it.
Stop spending all the money on CGI and space products and projects, and let's build some more hospitals.
Absolutely.
I think we can all cope with it.
I agree. 1960, I don't think we were ready. 2020, I think we are.
Let's go there and see what's like on the other side. There might be nicer places to be. It could be a good holiday destination.
I'm with you.
Yeah. We could put it on the spin to win.
I think we're ready to know. Tell us.
Thank you. Thank you. Fascinating.